Okay, here we are in part 4. This is the last part of this presentation. We just covered recyclable materials in part 3, and now we're going to look at design for disassembly and also wrap up with new mindset and people. And why is it important to disassemble used products? Let's take another look at the system for material sustainability. Here again is the simplified system for material sustainability. We're going to look at just a few of these roles right now. The disassembler, the materials processor, new parts supplier, producer, and consumer. And as you know, the used parts that are no longer functional come from the consumer and go through disassembly. So use your imagination a little bit here. These are the products here, the non-functional used products that are about to go to the disassembler. And by used products, we mean cars, trucks, airplanes, furniture, and everything. Next, the products arrive at the disassembler. They go through a disassembly process that was identified by the product designer, and out come the parts. Now, if the parts are usable, they can be routed to new parts suppliers or producers, but if they are not usable, then they go to the materials processor. And then, as you recall from part 3, the materials processor takes the parts that are no longer usable and reprocesses them and makes the materials available again to go back into production. So the point I want to make here is that products must be designed for disassembly. Otherwise, the challenge and the expense may be too great. Currently in manufacturing, products are designed to be easy to assemble, but no thought is given to disassembly. However, disassembly may be easier than assembly. One idea is to make products with thermoadhesives so that when they are heated to a specific temperature, say 200 degrees Fahrenheit, they simply fall apart. So let's look at a few disassembly requirements. The disassembly process must be easy and fast. All joins between parts must be reversible. That will probably mean that parts would no longer be welded or riveted together. Parts must be designed to be recoverable and reusable. This is so that any part that can pass testing can be reused in new products. Parts must be designed to have separable materials for material reprocessing. This is so materials can be recovered with a minimum of waste. And finally, disassembly and reuse must be cost effective. There's a lot more detail about how this can work in my book. Design for disassembly is in a way similar to what we looked at in material engineering. Now, when the product is designed, the disassembly plan for the product has to be designed at the same time, in parallel. Just as we saw with the material, when it's designed, the plan for reprocessing it has to be designed at the same time to guarantee that that material is recyclable. So when the product is designed, the plan for disassembling it is also designed at the same time, and the facilities and the equipment are all predetermined so that the disassembly plan can be carried out. Now I'd like to show you a disassembly project that was done at the Technical University of Berlin, and it was quite a large project, and unfortunately now the website has been taken down, but I captured some of the information. This is the largest disassembly project of its kind, I believe, that has occurred anywhere in the world. And what's exciting about it is, as you can see up in the upper left-hand corner, they analyzed this particular product. They took washing machines, as you can see in the aqua circles in the photo, and they analyzed these products for the best way to disassemble them using this kind of CAD system, as you can see here in the upper left-hand corner. Now in the photo, I want you to take note that evidently they spared no expense. In orange, you can see robots that were used to manipulate the pieces, and you can see the washing machines in different stages of disassembly. You can see some of the pieces in cages like here, and here evidently are some washing machines that are getting queued up to be disassembled. And so it really was a fascinating project, and in my mind it's a pity that the website was taken down, but it is evidence that there is a great deal of interest in disassembly, And probably since it's Europe, it's being driven somewhat by the take-back laws, but it shows what can be achieved. We have discussed the design for disassembly and the need for it, and now we're going to take a look at the mindset that is going to be needed for recycling everything. I believe that people are beginning to realize that we need to handle resources in a way that is much different from the way that we do now. For example, I believe that people are beginning to realize that resources are finite and must be managed. However, some of these things may be a bit more of a challenge, and I think that this one, where everyone is adapting to a closed system for handling materials, is going to have some challenges because we in the U.S. and as well as everywhere, we still have this notion that we can throw something away. And of course, we all know in the back of our minds that there really is no way to throw something, and that we really need to bring all of these materials back into some kind of a system so that they can be reused. But now another thing that's implied is that consumers will not own products. And that's not to say that if you have an heirloom or something like that, that it's going to be recycled. But in general, such things that flow through our possessions, such as TVs and cars and things like that, we do not need to own these things. We can lease them or in some other way return them back into the system. The other big one is going to be that producers need to own the materials that they use to make products and track them as they make their way around the system. And the reason for this is because if they don't have materials, they cannot manufacture new products. And our last topic is people. People and the Institute for Material Sustainability. And so you may be wondering, who or what is the Institute? The Institute for Material Sustainability is a nonprofit organization. It's in its very early stages. Our goal is to work with industry and to get systems for material sustainability up and running ASAP. Our mission is to help industries make the transition to systems for material sustainability. We want to have a collaborative effort to develop 100% recyclable materials for industry, design products using these new materials and new processes for material recovery, construct working models of systems for material sustainability, and to establish a consulting agency to work with industry to co-develop and implement these systems. Our first major goal is to set up and run a full system test, and we would use recyclable materials, product designs, assembly and disassembly plans, product test plans, facilities and equipment, expertise, and of course funding. So we're making an appeal. We're looking for people who can help with all these areas. And a few final thoughts. This system of sustainability will create jobs for now and the future. As we've seen in this presentation, there is a huge need for materials science, for engineering of processes, equipment, and facilities, product design, lean manufacturing, logistics and transportation, computer systems, financial analysis, policymaking, production, and many, many other things. And we are optimistic because crisis is the flip side of opportunity. Even climate change in the past has led to rapid evolution. And we believe that now we're entering a time of accelerated innovation, and that the best thing that we can do right now is to have an attitude of hope and of optimism and a desire to make changes and new processes that can work. So we hope that you will contact us at www.rebk.org and let us know what you think of this presentation and get in touch and we will begin a dialogue. Thank you.